this video is intended to give an overview of the depth and slope functionality inside Trimble Earthworks. So if we click on Job Setup here, typically you're used to working in this mode. You have the project loaded, you have mode design, and you have the available designs selected for whatever activity you're currently undertaking. So in this particular example, we've got a 1 in 3 crossfall landscape bund that is being graded. So we can see there the crossfall of the blade is 1 in 3. And if we look at it in 3D, we can see the surface in there with the available line work. So that's fine if we're doing sort of final grading. If you wanted to start putting in platforms or sort of benching in platforms up this slope as you go, say at like ½ meter intervals or 1 meter intervals, we can use what's called depth and slope mode inside Trimble Earthworks to achieve these platforms. So to access the depth and slope functions, tap on the spade and the gear icon in the bottom right, go back to Job Setup, and if you look at the second one down in the list here, we need to change our mode from design to depth and slope. We can have the line work from the original design still visible, so we can still orientate ourselves to the design, but the surface, the grading surface, won't be available to us now. So click Apply. The first message you'll be greeted with is bench heading required. So the system would like to know which direction we want to define the main fall of the design in. This actually doesn't matter if you're putting in a flat pad. So if it's just a pure flat pad, say 0 elevation, doesn't matter. If you want to start putting in custom crossfalls, so say you're sealing up a fill area for the evening and you wanted to put a 2.5% crossfall across the whole thing, it would need to know which direction to draw that crossfall perpendicular to. But don't worry about it too much for the minute. All we need to do with the bench heading setting here is tap this little blue button here, and that will record the current direction of the dozer. So face it in the direction that you're going to be placing material, click that button to bench the heading. The next item it's going to ask you for is bench elevation required. So the system works by grabbing a reference elevation from one side of the blade tip, so either the left or right, and whichever side this little red cone is currently set to is the elevation the system will grab as the reference elevation. So we can change that here with the guidance focus setting. So you can see in the cross-section view there particularly, you can see the little red cone change from left to right. So the trick here with the system is to find a piece of ground that you're happy with, or that the engineer has given you as a known elevation, and then you want to tap your blade down to that known elevation or known level. It could be arbitrary, but it doesn't really matter. But if you've got a known elevation you want to work to, you can tap it on there and bench it. Alternatively, you can move the blade up and down to create a whole number here. So say I want let's put it on the left hand side of the blade. I want my number here to be 385. So this is elevation above mean sea level. So I could lift my blade up here to get me to approximately 385. And then all I need to do to maintain that elevation as a flat pad is tap this button on the right hand side here, this bench heading, this bench elevation. So what that's done is it's grabbed the elevation of 385 from the left tip here, and it is applying it flat across that whole grading area now. So now when I move on the design, it's going to give me a cut fill relative to that point. And it's going to try and guide me back to 385 elevation. And when I get there, it all goes green and it's happy. So that is with a 0 offset applied. So say I wanted to put in, say that was my formation level for a stone platform, and I wanted ½ a meter of stone above that point now. You can go to the spade and the gear icon again. Tap on elevation offset. And then in here, we can type 0.5 meters positive. We can either do that by typing it, or we can use the arrow buttons to go plus 0.5. You can actually drag this up and down as well on the left-hand side if you wanted to. So that's going to go from our bench point at 0 to half a meter above. So click apply. And then if you look in the cross-section view, the dashed line there is our elevation at 385.0. The green surface, remember the green is always the grading surface, is now half a meter above that benched elevation surface. And you can keep doing this as and when you place the layers. You can keep coming up and coming up and coming up. And if at any point you want to rebench your elevation, so if you look at my left tip of the blade there, it's now at 385.5, so half a meter above where we benched the tip the last time. All I need to do is tap this button on the right hand side here to re-bench my new elevation. So now our reference elevation is now 385.5, and then we can keep doing that up and up and up and up and up.